Go. Hello, everybody. How you doing today? It's a new day. It's a fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking, and baking. I always say that everybody that comes on the PaulFoh podcast are stellar, phenomenal, and extraordinary. Today, they said that when you meet your heroes, some things just shift in your life. I met Dr. Olumide Emmanuel at a conference in London. The lady told me that he's going to speak at the event. I didn't believe her. I said, let me just come. I now finally met Dr. Olumide teaching in a room. God. And I begged him, sir, can you come on the podcast? And he agreed to say yes. He's the common sense guru. I love the way they introduce him. He's an international bestseller, relationship and finance and leadership coach, apostle of God, an alumni of the Harvard Business School. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podcast, Dr. Olumide Emmanuel.
Hey, thank you very much for having me.
Thank you so much, sir.
I'm glad to be here. Any opportunity to be a blessing, we are grateful.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. I want to start first by asking a question, because that question has also been mine. What's the difference between being rich and being wealthy? Because I don't believe that they are the same things.
No, they are not. They're not. A lot of people mix them together. Being rich is cash-based. Being wealthy is asset-based. Being rich is cash-based. Being wealthy is asset-based. And being wealthy has 8 different components. But being rich has only cash as a component. So any fool can be rich. Still $1 million, and I'm rich because I have $1 million. A kidnapper is rich, but he's not wealthy. A thief is rich, but he's not wealthy. An armed robber is rich, he's not wealthy. A smuggler is rich, he's not wealthy. So riches is cash-based. So when you have enough cash, you are considered to be a rich person. So it's all about, and any fool can gather cash. Any criminal can gather cash. But when you are talking about wealth, you are talking about assets. And talk about wealth, there are what we call the components of wealth. And there are 8 of them. I can't give you everything, but number 1, relationship is wealth. So when you understand wealth, you realize that your family is more important than money. The relationships in your life is more important than money. There are things that relationship can do for you that money cannot do.
That's right.
There are people that have money, yet they don't have the assets that they require, because not everything requires money. Health is wealth. You can have all the money in this world. If you don't have the right kind of health, if your health is not in place, then you are not really wealthy. So but they don't understand that they sacrifice their family in pursuit of wealth and money and riches, only to now try to use money to buy back their family. A lot of people sacrifice their health in pursuit of money and riches, only to now try to use money to buy back their health.
I see.
Experience. We talk about the wealth of experience. So experience is wealth because it gives you wisdom. And over years, you're able to develop wisdom, you're able to develop an expertise that makes you valuable to be able to mentor and impact the next generation. So when we talk about wealth, we are talking about being asset-based that produces cash flow. And it has all these other components: goodwill, integrity, family, health, spiritual connection. All these things come together to make you truly wealthy.
Fantastic. That's why I believe that maybe sometimes somebody wins the lottery, they get rich, but they never get wealthy.
Yeah, they never get. See, any money that you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage. Any money you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage. In 2016, 2017, here in Nigeria, there was a young lady that was a bread seller. This young lady was a bread seller. They call her Jumoke or bread. Her story, she went in, she was just hawking her wares, and then she entered into a picture frame of a popular R&B singer that was being recorded by another major photographer, T.Y. Bello. And then sudden fortune turned for her. She luxury apartment, fully paid for 5 years, got brand ambassadorship, got money, but in less than 2016, by 2019, 2020, she was poor and wretched. Why? Because even though she had millions, money was coming in from everywhere. She did not have the wisdom to manage it. So whatever money you don't have the wisdom to make, you will not have the wisdom to manage. So when people win the lottery or they come into a fortune that they are not expecting, they at Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson just fought another just a few weeks ago, a few days ago. And somebody that made hundreds of millions of dollars. But people are wretched because according to his own testimonial, because he didn't have the wisdom to make that money, was just picked up on the street. He said, instead of fighting on the street, all this one you are fighting like an area boy, beating people. Why not come and fight in the ring and make money for fighting? So brute force without understanding money, no financial intelligence, and all he had was muscle power without brain power. At the end of the day, we see the results. So that's the same thing. So people need to understand that the world that we live in today, you need to really develop yourself holistically, because if you know better, you will do better.
Yeah, fantastic. So in terms of developing ourselves, I think many people go for the rich first because they think it's quick. And the development of the self-development takes a bit of time. So where do you advise people, someone that doesn't have money, they go straight for the money first? What do you advise them to start developing themselves first?
But they don't really end up this. What people don't understand is you have to become it to attract it.
Come on now.
You have to become rich to attract riches. You have to become wealthy to attract wealth. It is first within, then without.
Without, yes.
You cannot become it, you cannot attract it, because your internal reality is what creates your external reality. What you don't know is that if they have not spent time to become what they are trying to enter into, it will not happen. If it happens by happenstance, they will lose it and they will not be able to maintain it. Know what you did to get what you got. When you lose it, you will not be able to replace it. So I know what I did to get what I got. When I lose it, I can easily replace it because I know the formula.
That's right.
From it, then you know what it takes to attract it. And you can always let it go, and you can always sacrifice it because you can always recreate it. And that's what people don't understand. So it's better to understand. See, Abraham Maslow came up with what is called Maslow's hierarchy of need.
Yeah.
What people do not realize is that in his postulation, he was trying to find out what he was really aiming for was to find out why do people behave the way they behave. That was the thesis. Why do people behave like this? And now, trying to find out why people behave the way they behave, he now realized that there are three major levels of oppression: the survival level of life, the success level of life, and the significance level of life. He now realized that when people are at the survival level, they are not different from animals. Operating based on their survival instincts, they are operating like animals. They go back to their base instinct of, survival and reaction. That is why he now came up with those basic things that, okay, in order to move people out of survival, we need to identify what are their survival needs and help them to be able to get that sorted out before they can move to the next level.
Yeah.
But one thing you need to understand is that even if you are at the survival level, the survival mindset cannot bring you out of survival. Mindset at your survival level to come out. So even if you are at the survival level of life, you have to rise above that mindset in order for you to come out of survival. But when they are at the survival level, they don't understand that they have to think beyond themselves and be impact-driven, value-driven, significance-driven. So they only think of what's in it for me. I can't come and kill myself. I'm not here to show. But if you are struggling and you are at the survival level, but you have the right kind of mindset, you'll be thinking of impact. You'll be thinking of value.
Yeah.
And that's what highlights you and brings you out of the pack to become someone that begins to get success and attract the kind of blessings that you want. So you have to become it to attract.
I like speaking about around the thing of becoming to attract. You do a cohort, an immersive experience called the Billionaires Conclave. I think the next one is in March in London. So guys, I'm going to put the link in the show notes as well if you're interested. I'm going to put all of Olumide Emmanuel's books, a link to his books in the show notes in the podcast, because like we said, now you have to be before you can have. In observing those billionaires, some of them they have a net worth of over 1 billion naira, right? And some of them who are on the way to it. What is the mindset of the wealthy? Because that's the software that produces the wealth. What have you observed in the way they think?
Impact.
Hmm.
Money flows in exchange for value. What
Hmm.
value? Answering questions, solving problems, and meeting needs.
Hmm.
Because on answering questions, solving problems, and meeting needs, you are becoming a value-driven person. And then once you are a value-driven person, you begin to make impact. And as you make impact, money flows. You achieve more when you don't care who gets the credit.
Come on now. Hmm.
Just let me be a blessing, let me be a blessing, let me offer value, let me offer value. And then when you help enough people to get what they want, they will all come together to help you get what you want.
Hmm.
I have many of my mentees, and their story is almost the same, just to validate what I've said. Two of them started a company a while back. And when they started, they struggled, they done all kinds of stuff. Then in 2013, one of them came and said, look, I'm tired of poverty. I'm tired of that. I said, just think of what you can do to make a difference in the life of people. Start thinking of impacts. Don't think about you don't have money. Stop thinking money. No. What problems are available that you can help people solve? And that was the game changer. And they started doing that. And they came up with a vision to help people to become millionaires. So when you are poor and your vision is to help people become millionaires, there's no way you will remain poor now.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. This is very powerful.
Because if you help other people to become rich, they will make you rich. So impact. So when you look all around, you realize that a lot of people that are rich and wealthy, their mindset is all about impact. So when you are thinking of impact and value, then money will flow. So that's the mindset that people need to have.
Very powerful.
Yeah.
What are one or two things that you believed about creating wealth that you don't longer believe anymore? Things you believe about money before that you no longer believe anymore?
Well, actually, I think my story is unique in the sense that I didn't know much about money until I knew about money. And then when I knew about it, I actually knew about it the right way. So before now, my story changed in 1997. I don't know if you know about that. 1997, I got married and my story changed because I realized that there's no romance without finance. I realized that when a woman tells you, I love you the way you are, I love you the way you are does not mean I love you to remain the way you are.
Come on now. Come on now.
That somewhere along the line, your story will change. And I realized that love is not enough. I love you, I love you, I love you. Poverty can kill love. So
I like that. What a line.
in my situation, I cried out to God for a change. And then I went through 8 months of an encounter that transformed me and made me to become. And when I became, 3 years later, I was able to attract what I had become. But the key there is that before that time, I just thought that once you're a good person, money will come. No, once you're a good person. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Once you're a good person, you will make money. So if I'm to say I have wrong mindset, it's all about, once you're a good person, you'll become rich. Once you're hardworking. So once you are good, you'll be rich. Once you're hardworking, you'll be rich. Once you serve God, He will bless you. All those, thinking, those are the wrong thinking that still keeps people poor. You can be good and poor. You can be hardworking and poor. They are accompanied with smart work. Or else you will remain poor. God bless me, God bless me. What's your definition of blessing? Because you're already blessed.
Come on now. Come on now.
So you say, I'm the God that gives you power to get wealth. So God does not give wealth to anybody. He gives you the power to create the wealth. So the blessing. An empowerment. It's an empowerment to produce. So you're already blessed. But if you don't use the power, you'll be a powerful poor man, which is what's happening to many people, that they are powerful poor.
Very, very, very powerful. My mom died last year, and I was just thinking about some things. She was a very loving mother, went to church every day, introduced me to the Lord. I'm very grateful to God about that, but she was never rich. Never. So it validates your point. You can be a very church-going person and you will not have money until you die if you don't fix it. If you don't fix it. So I truly believe that. Sir, you have opened a lot of people's eyes to the power of real estate in Nigeria. You are the forefront of real estate education in Nigeria. The economy is doing its thing. I don't want to call the name that we call the economy right now. Do you encourage people to get into real estate at this time? And what's the entry point for someone who doesn't have anything they want to start out in real estate?
With real estate, you can never go wrong if you know what to do and you do it right. Regardless of the economic climate, real estate is the most powerful vehicle of wealth creation that also doubles as a powerful vehicle of wealth retention. So it helps you to hedge against inflation. It hedges against devaluation. And it's a very, very powerful store of value. So instead of doing cash banking, you do land banking. So as far as I'm concerned, anywhere in the world, real estate will never fail if you do it right and you know what to do. So regardless of the economic climate, as a matter of fact, crisis creates opportunities. So it is in times of crisis that people should actually plug into real estate because it becomes a very powerful storage of your value. So, of course, I'll tell anybody to do it any day, anytime. I'm grateful to God that I learned that early. I started early and I'm seeing the results on a global scale. So whether you have money or not, there are 4 different ways you can play in the real estate sector.
Yeah.
You can be a regulator, so you can work with the government. You can be a lawyer, a surveyor, an architect, a town planner. You can play in those regulatory professional aspects of the business. Number 2, you can be a realtor, which is the lowest hanging fruit. So you can be a realtor where you are just like a connector between the market and the, those who need market. So you are connecting between the buyer and the seller. You are making your own commission and making your own money. And when you enter as a realtor, you can now use the commissions and the money you make to now buy into the same product
system.
From there. Number 3, you can be a developer, which is a very, very difficult yet profitable aspect of the business. And then number 4, you can be an investor, which is the cash cow. So you don't even need to be involved. Just send your money. Instead of you working hard, let your money work hard for you. So you invest and other people do the work, and then you just sit down and get your return. So it's a good thing to do real estate anywhere in the world.
So, because I wrote this question and I said, I want to ask you this question. Why are people poor? Because you are the doctor of poverty. Why are people poor? Because I just saw a statistics recently. I saw it on LinkedIn. It was on the Financial Times of London. They said that the poverty level in Nigeria now is like the poverty level of China and India combined. It's so strong.
Well, basically, the United Nations have defined living below $2 a day as poverty.
Yeah.
And living below $1 a day as extreme poverty. And 75% of Nigerians live below $1 a day. So that means over 70% of those in Nigeria live in extreme poverty. And it's the same thing in many parts of the continent, actually. So basically, when it comes to poverty, all these things have been documented in all my books. I actually wrote an entire book on this issue. And so when you talk about poverty, the first thing to do is to be able to diagnose what poverty is. Once you're able to diagnose it, then you now know what are the doorways and the things that causes poverty. So poverty is a spirit, poverty is a mindset, poverty is an habit, poverty is a lifestyle, and poverty is a state. When you see someone in a state of lack and hardship, you say he's poor because that person does not have what they need. They lack everything that is required to live a meaningful life.
Yeah.
So that of lack and hardship is what people see and say, that man is poor, that woman is poor. But you see, that state of poverty is the external thing that you see. But the root of it is called the spirit of poverty. Because everything physical has its roots in the spiritual. The spirit realm is the realm where events occur before they happen. So if you're able to go to the root, you can now deal with the spirit. But the problem again is because of religion, a lot of people don't know how to balance this thing. Because religion is more dangerous than the devil. Has ruined the life of many people, especially people that say they are religious people. I don't believe in religion. Christianity is not a religion. It's a relationship with your creator. Practice Christianity as a religion, you're going to be a pawn in the hands of charlatans. Practice Christianity as a religion, you're going to be a victim of the religious, myopic, inexperienced, inexposed interpretation of scriptures of the people that you listen to. When a man that is poor comes in contact with religion, they will tell him that there is a spirit of poverty worrying him. Yes, spirit of God. They will now pray and say they have dealt with the spirit of poverty. But you see, what you don't realize is that the spirit of poverty is not omnipresent, it's not every time, it's not omnipotent, it's not all powerful, and it's not omniscient, it's not all knowing. So when you deal with the spirit of poverty, you have dealt with it, it goes. But the problem is you saw a state of poverty, level 5. You dealt with the spirit, level 3, but 2 to 4 is the real problem. Dimension is I see when the spirit of poverty comes into a place, they are like colonial masters. They come into a place and they install their government, install their system, install their structures, install their software, and they walk away, and the system continues to control you. So when the spirit of poverty comes into the life of a man, it installs software and programs into the life of that man. That's what we call the mindset of poverty. We govern their thoughts, their behaviors, their beliefs, and their actions. And that's what we perpetuate the poverty. So when a man is poor, it's because he is not understanding how to deal with all the different dimensions of poverty. This is what diagnosis of poverty. And without a proper diagnosis, there cannot be an accurate prognosis. So it is that mindset of poverty that now produces habit of poverty, which is level 3. You now things that will promote poverty. You now have poverty attracting habit, poverty attracting beliefs, poverty attracting attitude, poverty attracting actions. That's what now leads to a lifestyle of poverty. That's what now. So it's like it's a continuum. So when people are poor, they are poor, number one, because of ignorance. Ignorance is the major number one reason for poverty anywhere in the world. If you know better, you will do better.
That's right.
People now come to church, they now expect prayer to set them free from ignorance, but it can never happen. Why? Ignorance is not a demon. You can't cast it out. So prayer cannot handle ignorance. The only solution to ignorance is knowledge. In him was life, and the life was the
light of men.
Darkness, and darkness cannot comprehend it. So prayer cannot deal with ignorance. So you can be a prayer warrior and be poor. Because they pray, but many of them don't study the Bible. They pray, but they don't read book. They pray, but they don't develop themselves. So ignorance is the number one reason for poverty. That's the doorway into poverty. Ignorance. Say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So what you don't know can ruin you. I can't pray for you to be a pilot. I can't pray for you.
Come on, man.
So there's no way I can pray for you to be rich. I can't anoint you to be rich. I can't give you communion to be rich. I can't prophesy you into riches. So many times we want to pray our way out of a problem that will behave our way into.
Oh my God. Whoa.
And it's not going to happen. So you cannot pray your way out of a problem that you behave your way into. So poverty is something that came as a result of ignorance. You can't just come and say, okay, come and look at God. By his mighty hand, he set them free from Egypt. But it took him 40 years to remove Egypt from them. God, Almighty God. It took him 40 years to remove Egypt from them. So Egypt is more powerful than Pharaoh. God dealt with Pharaoh, but Egypt had to be rich. So many people, the software of poverty is in their mind, it's in them. So no matter what you say, they will argue, they will talk, and it's the software talking. Sometimes they're just regurgitating what the software and the programming is all about. So it is that ignorance that is the number one reason why people are poor. Number two reason why people are poor is laziness. Many people have not. These are things I've written. I've got lots of books that this is not this. So
now I'm going to put a link in the show notes. We have to get this book there.
People don't understand. You see, laziness is very powerful. The only laziness that people understand is that the guy is lazy, doesn't work. No, procrastination is laziness. I will do it later. You are a lazy man. Excuses is laziness. It's not my fault. So people are mentally lazy, physically lazy, emotionally lazy, psychologically lazy, spiritually lazy. There are 7 dimensions of laziness.
My God.
The Bible says the lazy man says that there is a lion in the streets.
Hmm.
He has not gone out, though. He's at home, but he knows that there is a lion. The lazy man does not roast what he has gotten. He got it, but he can't roast it because he does not know how to translate his labor into. That's why Nigeria is lazy. When I say Nigeria, I'm talking about the country now, because we have crude oil, but we don't refine it. That's laziness. Because you are able to go to the farm to get the raw material, but you don't know how to translate and refine it into product. So a lot of people are lazy, and that laziness has left them in the realm that they are in. So there are many of them, like 7
Wow,
million.
so powerful. I mean, you've been able to transfer, and know you're still writing. You've been able, as it were, a good metaphor of, it didn't roast what it got in the farm. You've been able to transfer your knowledge into books that are sold all over the world. So you're not just a property entrepreneur, a serial investor. You're also a knowledge entrepreneur, which is critically important. Apart from your books and the Bible, what is the one book you have recommended that people should read to fix their mindset?
Oh, we all know, reach that point that change our life. Reach that point that Kiyosaki, God bless that man. But apart from the book changing my life, I'm sure I sold, well, just to be conservative, a couple of thousands of that book.
What?
And I think I gave out close to 400 or 500 of it free to people. Yeah, I sold that, but I made money. Just selling the book alone, I made money, not to talk of the impact it made on my own life. So all the Rich Dad series, amazing book. That book is just an all-time bestseller. Rich Dad Poor Dad, any day, anytime.
I'm going to let you go in a moment, but let me just ask a few more questions. We booked this podcast to be at a certain 6 p.m. and on 6 p.m. on the dot, you were already waiting, and I know how busy you are. I know some people who are close to you. I mean, they are big men as well. I know how they honor you, but I know how busy you are. How do you manage your time? Because of some things that you are doing, some people say they don't have time. Yes. How do you have the time to write the books, to talk about the books, to talk about your knowledge business, your real estate business, and you pastor a church? You are a dad. You are a husband. How do you do that?
Well,
the other day you were in Cape Town. You were talking about the scenery in Cape Town, like, yo, and I know you were in London the week. I'm like, yo, how do you do that? Some people they don't have your schedule. They go late to every meeting. They don't respond to anything. How do you do that, sir?
If I want to answer you like a girl, I say it's the grace of God. Thank God for His grace. You see, one of the things I've come to realize is that time management is a skill that everybody needs to develop. And I've written something around that, also produce another program on that. And when you see any successful man anywhere in the world, they know how to manage their time because they know how to prioritize their time. So what I have been able to do is to put systems and structures in place and to be able to put things in their proper perspective of priority.
Yeah.
So for me, there are things that I call the must do. And then there are things that are the should do.
Mm-hmm.
There are the can do. So I only do what I must do. That is the priority. And then I give room for things that I should do. But there are things that I can do that I don't do because it's not part of my must do or should do. Those ones only come in when I have the time for that. And when you look at life, there are things you can do that nobody else can do. Those are the things I focus on. That you can do that others can also do. You delegate those ones.
Yeah.
there are things you cannot do that others can do. You outsource it.
Yeah.
So what I do is I look at my life, I look at my priority, I look at all the different things that needs to be done, and then in the order of priority, I give room for them.
Oh.
And I have my calendar, I have everything. So even in my calendar, if you see me, I can open. I still did that to show somebody yesterday. I can show you my calendar. You will see rest there. I place for rest. You will see family day. You will see retreats. You will see everything is documented. Okay, this one don't go out. You need to rest this day. You need to. So those are things that I document, and that helps me. So and once I have a meeting, I don't. I've never. I'm not a late. That one is. It's not even part of it. Anybody working with you know that late coming to me is like you are even a criminal. If you are late, you better be late. That's why they say when someone dies, they say it's late now. So if you are late, you are late. That means you are dead. You are not alive. You are dead to the reality of promptness. So people don't go late to airport, they'll miss their flight now. If you come late, you missed an opportunity that will not be there for you.
Yes.
You need to understand the power of promptness. And once you understand, so what I do is, for instance, today, so I've already told I have calendar, we check it together every week, every month. Okay, babe, so what's the plan? What's this one? So we already know, okay, today I had a board meeting in the morning. Okay, today is family. Then I'm going to do board meeting. Then I have another Insta Live by 6 in the evening. So in the morning, we were watching film, watching movie, enjoying ourselves. When it was 11, I did my meeting. When I finished the meeting, they said, let's go out. And so we went out, got ice cream, got some stuff, chill out, just drove around the area. And then we came back, and then we had lunch. And then we said, okay, when is that or something again? So 6 o'clock, okay, let's do this. So just gisting. And I already set an alarm for 5:45. So 15 minutes though, the alarm rang. So yeah, go get ready, I charge this side. That's it. So everything you say, you plan well so that how can you at the level I operate in, it's not even
It's not even accommodated at all.
And you are consulting for governors, presidents, for and I run a TV station, so every 1 second matters, even on TV station.
Yes. Okay, man, you are really trying. I was at the O2. I was at the O2 Arena, the business show, some big conference in London. So I was speaking in one of the master class, but I observed an Indian guy. He has a very big property company in England called, I think, Premier. He, in his own words, say he's like the 5th or 6th largest landlord in England. So for that 3 days, he was teaching the 3 days, selling his markets. And I see you doing that. And I say to myself, I'm talking to my Nigerian brothers and see what CEOs talking. What is the role of education marketing? This guy is like the 6th largest landlord in the UK. Sir, Baba, he was teaching, selling his book, just like you do, sir. He was selling his book. Okay, this guy has properties all over. He swamped the UK with property. Baba, those 3 days, now they teach by himself. What is the role of content marketing? And I like one thing, you have evolved. I've not used CISO, but I see that how you innovate and you evolve. I'm not trying to hit on anybody, but the people that started ministry with you, we can't find a lot of them again. They're not relevant to this generation, the way the world is, but you are consistently relevant. How do you stay inspired? How do you reinvent yourself? And what is the role of teaching marketing in growing content marketing in growing a business? Because you do that so well.
Well, basically, that was the key that unlocked things for me in business, educational markets. When I started real estate, I started in 1998 on a personal level, 98, 99, then 2000 took it up. But by 2001 was when we went into full estate development.
You were doing those rallies, those big rallies, real estate conference rallies. Yes. Yeah.
So 2001, we had our first 50 acres. And then we did 100 acres, then 200 acres. So that's what we done. So, but I realized that when I was talking to people about buying land, they would just tell me, they would just have all kinds of bad news. And then I kept asking, have you ever experienced it before? No, but my brother, somebody said. I said, these people are just, having all kinds of meets that they need to. So I now started the monthly school of money. So
Yes. I remember. Yes.
every month, I just started doing seminars, teaching. So that was my own way. Then I was on radio every day for 15 years. Monday to
Jesus.
so Monday I was on radio. And so just educating people because I realized that ignorance was a problem. And as people were getting educated, they were buying, they were moving, and that's how we continue to grow. So when I came to London, same thing. 1997, I was in the UK. 98, 97, I came twice. August and November 98, I came 4 times. By 1999, I started coming to the UK 6 times a year. And I was on Ben TV every Saturday, so I'll be on Ben TV then. Later came Niger FM, Godfather. So Niger FM, I do he will come to my hotel, we'll do recordings of like 5 minutes. He will interview me for 1 hour, play the interview, then I will go. So I just started doing that. And that's started the relationship, wisdom for single and wisdom for couples every August in London. And that's also educational marketing is very, very important because when people understand you and they understand your product, because people will buy into you before they buy into your product.
Yes.
As they continue to understand you, it helps you. So over time, one has been able to build a brand, build a track record that right now the name alone produces money.
That's right. Come on now.
Once Olumide Emmanuel, they just start buying because they know that this guy will never get involved in anything that will soil.
Yeah.
So that's it. So I celebrated 35 years in full-time ministry 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
31st of October and 1st of November. 35 years of full-time ministry. I've been in the kingdom stuff for 38 years. Full-time ministry, 35 years. And like you said, I just released a new book, Ministers' Mistakes and Ministry. And one of the mistakes I've seen a lot of ministers make is refusing to reinvent themselves. Understand is that as you grow, you need to understand the times and seasons. When you get to the realm that many of us have gotten into right now, you need to turn around and begin to mentor the next generation. To coach the next generation, because if you don't, you can't be a star player forever.
Come on now.
So once you move from star player, the next thing is to become a coach. Or else you will have to pay to enter the same stadium where people came to watch you play. So if you are not a coach, you cannot come to say, I used to be a player. You go buy ticket. You know who I am. You know who I am.
That's wise, man.
Stadium. If you know who I am, you say, oh God, we don't know you. But if you are a coach, you will enter with the players without paying. So that's what we do. So I just feel that I surround myself with young people. I impart them. I give them platform. I give them opportunity. I learn from them. It keeps me young. It keeps me relevant because you are only as valuable as your relevance. And relevance as your value. So as you continue to be valuable to people, you'll be relevant. As you continue to be relevant to people, you'll be valuable. And that's the way it works.
Final question, sir. You talked about how you dealt with a challenge in the London conference in your starting of your business when you were selling property somehow. How do you handle challenges? How do business people handle challenges? Maybe they sold property, money didn't come on time, or customers didn't pay. Maybe they bought a acre of land and they thought that this land will sell in 60 days, like they do in their marketing, and for 2 years it's not selling.
Well,
so they have assets, they don't have cash flow. I love the way you put it that day in London. They are assets rich, but cash flow poor.
Yeah. Well, you see, tough times never last, but tough people do. Business plan does not go according to plan.
My God.
Plan does not go according to plan. So you can do your MBA, they can tell you about feasibility study, business plan, and all those stuff. No problem. Enter markets. You will understand that a business plan does not go according to plan. That's why we always have the book smart, street smart dichotomy. But one thing you need to know is that entrepreneurship is a spirit. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. The mindset and the spirit of an entrepreneur is to be rugged and dogged, to keep doing the right thing when it is working, when it is not working, until it begins to work. You just keep doing what you need to. So no matter what comes, tough times never last. Tough people, you just keep pushing. Think through the whole problem, look into how you can solve, because that's who you are, an entrepreneur. Yeah. And that's so challenges will come. You are either coming out of one.
We are going to. I like that. I like that. Wow. So this has been a fascinating conversation. Hey guys, I'm going to put the link to, I'll just copy the link on your Instagram bio because I know you have links to all the books. I just copy that link and drop it in the show notes on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, and to my email list. This episode comes out tomorrow. Is it 31st or the 1st of December? I don't know.
1st of December.
Oh my God. So it's so significant. Oh my God, this is prophetic.
We're starting the month.
Oh my God. Oh my God. So this is what happened today. All right. So this episode is going to come out tomorrow, the 1st of December. I will even promote this episode as an ad. I don't promote episodes, but this one I will put money behind it. I will promote this episode because I want people to, be blessed. I'm going to stop the recording now so that we can gist more. Wow. Oh my God.
This one.
Oh my goodness.